Another shot of the Centennial Building, of the Sir Charles Tupper Building in Halifax. Crowds began following Her Majesty from her first look at the city this morning. She drove in a motorcade through Halifax from the Royal Yacht Britannia to the Hotel Nova Scotian for a luncheon, which was tendered by the province of Nova Scotia. And a large crowd was gathered along that route to get a glimpse of Her Majesty. Once again, the band from Cornwallis, Canadian Forces Base Cornwallis, playing here in the Dalhousie rink.
There are many adjectives one could use to describe the Sir Charles Tupper Medical Building. At $16.2 million, it's perhaps the costliest of all provincial centennial projects. This enormous cost, incidentally, is financed partly by grants of $2.5 million each from both the federal and Nova Scotia provincial governments, plus $8.7 million from the Health Resources Fund. Since it's the only medical school in the Atlantic provinces, it will indirectly service the medical education needs of all 4 eastern provinces. To this end, some financial assistance is forthcoming from each of these provinces in the form of a per capita cash grant.
This is the link from the old medical building to the new one. Quite a difference in height, a difference in size, and a difference in design. We were in the President's office the other day, and we were comparing the old set, or the old office rather, and the new one. And there is quite a difference, not only in its location and the view that the university president will get, or the dean rather, from his office in the new Tupper building. This is the forecourt where, in front of the Tupper building, where the ceremony was to have been held, the one taking place now in the Dalhousie rink. A welcome to the university by Dr. Hicks and all of the proceedings of the Convocation. And if fine weather had prevailed, we would have been looking at this very pretty forecourt surrounded by trees and new building and green grass, flowers. But this morning at 9 o'clock, it was evident that the weather was not going to break. It was at that time that the officials in charge of the proceeding made the decision to move inside into the Dalhousie rink for the Convocation ceremony. This is the front of the building facing College Street. It is here that Her Majesty entered, and she will leave from here and get in the car to proceed to the rink, and between a guard of commissionaires. That's the door leading into the memorial room, where Her Majesty is now receiving some honored guests after having seen the plaques which we saw earlier.
Scarlet-coated Mounties, of course, are everywhere. The RCMP has been charged with all security matters in Her Majesty the Queen Mother's visit to Canada's Atlantic provinces.
Prime Minister Pearson will also receive an honorary degree here this afternoon, and 2 of Canada's prime ministers have been honored. Sir Robert Borden in 1919 and John Diefenbaker in 1961. Vincent Massey, later Canada's Governor General, received a degree in 1929 when he was Canadian ambassador to the United States. The procession now leaving the memorial room. Her Majesty was to put on the gowns. There's the Premier. We can just barely make out the Premier, Dr. Hicks. They are leaving the memorial room now, and we'll go to the car and drive to the Prime Minister, Mr. Pearson. There was some doubt as to whether or not he would be able to be here this afternoon once again because of the weather closing down the Halifax International Airport. This is the plaque which we saw earlier, the official centennial plaque. This is the plaque commemorating the Sir Charles Tupper building as the province's centennial project, and is the one we saw earlier and described as being the same plaque or similar in design to all of the plaques in projects across the country. Now the honored guests are moving towards the motorcade, towards the entrance, and shortly Her Majesty will drive by car to the rink. The honorary degree to be conferred on Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, by Dalhousie will be the first awarded by the university to any member of a royal family. The university's list of honorary degrees contains nearly 300 names, and the recipients include authors, businessmen, barristers, doctors, and dentists, judges, and clergy, and representatives of the Queen. Other prominent recipients of honorary degrees: Mr. Justice William O'Douglas of the United States Supreme Court, James Cardinal McGuigan, Roman Catholic Archbishop of Toronto, External Affairs Mr. Martin, Field Marshal Viscount Montgomery, guests are now looking at the inscription behind the bust of Sir Charles Tupper, which we read earlier. This commemorates the fact that the building was named after Sir Charles Tupper and also outlines a brief biography. Mother, ready to receive her degree in the robes. And Dr. Hicks on the Queen Mother's left.
It was in those little rooms off the main reading room of the medical library, WK Medical Library, WK Kellogg Medical Library, and Sir Charles Tupper building, that both Her Majesty the Queen Mother and Canada's Prime Minister Lester Pearson donned the robes that they will wear for the convocation here in Dalhousie Memorial Rink.
Her Her Majesty is due to leave the university at approximately 3:45 and will arrive at Camp Hill Hospital at 4 o'clock. At 4:30, she will proceed to the Lieutenant Governor's residence, Maplewood. At 5:30, we'll leave for the Royal Yacht. And at 6 o'clock, a dinner on the Royal Yacht. And at 10 p.m., the yacht sails for the Strait of Canso. The Queen Mother, Her Majesty, the Queen Mother, and Dr. Hicks. Now proceeding to the front door of the medical building on her way to receive her honorary degree here in the Dalhousie Memorial Rink. Waving to the crowd. Very large crowd, and they're allowed or permitted to gather very close to the sidewalk leading to the car. And the top of the car is down, even though rain has been threatening and has fallen quite a bit during the day. The drive from the Sir Charles Tupper building to the Memorial Rink, a very brief one. It should only take a few seconds before Her Majesty arrives here. The car will go down to the next street. We'll have to turn to the right down to South Street, which is a street parallel to the one you see now, but about 2 blocks to the right. Everything here is in readiness. People still fanning themselves and awaiting the arrival of the Her Majesty, the Queen, and the honored guests.
Large
crowd,
and
wherever Her
enthusiastic
Majesty
crowd, Pat, wherever the Queen Mother seems to go, and yet a surprising lack of flags of any sort. None of the Canadian flags, none of the Union Jacks that were so familiar to royal tours in years gone by.
There is another view, another look at the bust of Sir Charles Tupper, presented by Dr. Belliveau, Dr. Norman J. Belliveau, who will receive an honorary degree here this afternoon and who is president of the Canadian Medical Association. One of the latest of many recent additions to this university, which has a long history, founded in 1818, and Canada's first non-sectarian university. We saw the new law building earlier in our aerial view of the city and campus, and that faculty was established in 1883, and the first university law faculty to teach the common law in the British Commonwealth. Another distinction from the Dalhousie University Institute of Public Affairs, which was established in 1936 and the first organization of its type in Canada. We hear once again from the band of Canadian Forces Base Cornwallis. Majesty's car has arrived outside the Dalhousie Memorial Rink, and she will be appearing inside here behind the entranceway will be behind the band, and we will see her coming through there very shortly. Her Majesty has is moving towards the door, and now we will see her enter the Dalhousie Memorial Rink. There will be a smaller academic procession. Had the ceremony taken place in the forecourt of the building as originally planned, the honored guests and Her Majesty would have brought up the rear of the academic procession at that time, but because of the two separate functions going on at the same time here, there will be sort of two processions. This is the location or the site where the academic procession would have left the building. Proceed to the dais at the upper end of the forecourt, just at the foot of the Tupper building. The procession would have gone this way if the convocation had been held on the outside. Dr. Hicks